Are you brand new to import collecting? Maybe, just maybe, you have a few industry insiders in your Rolodex and you've been doing this for quite some time. This video is to give you 5 crucial tips to help you build your import collection and do things a little better. Let's get it rolling. Dragon Ball, horror, kaiju, and more. Steven Story Reviews. Hey there, collectors. It's going to be Steven here, and today I am bringing you 5... that's 10 essential tips for import collectors, so this way you can manage the hobby a bit easier. Now for this one, these are just going to be my tips that I would share with folks if they are looking to start import collecting, or even if they have been for a while, and maybe there are some tricks of the trade here that some may not even know. I've actually shared some of these with folks already, and they didn't even know some of these, and some of them are rather seasoned. So these are just my 5 tips, and they're going to have some sub-points to them, so this is definitely going to be one of those videos where if you are maybe doing something, you're folding laundry, putting the dishes away, so forth, hit play, put your earbuds in, go ahead and walk away, and, you know, maybe take notes and come on back to some timestamps for yourself later, and you can get all of the info that you might need. So let's go ahead and hit the ground running. The first tip is going to be the most important one. Where are your packages at any given time? You're going to want to focus on tracking, okay? Now with tracking, it's very important because there are many different shipping methods, okay? You could have stuff sent by FedEx, DHL, you could have UPS, USPS, which is, you know, EMS kind of thing. And with that, are you constantly throwing tracking numbers into a website? Are you constantly refreshing? Are you? Well, you can make things so much easier. Chances are you may even be watching this video on your smartphone. Guess what? There's an app for that. Kind of hate that saying, maybe, kind of. Anyway, so with what I know for sure is there's going to be a FedEx app and a DHL app. So this way, what you can do is you can put the FedEx tracking number if somebody gives it to you, or the DHL tracking number if somebody gives it to you, manually in there. Or if a tracking number is generated that is coming to your specific address because you sign up for it and you put in your name, you put in your address, once a shipping number, a manifest, whatever is generated, then even before you may get an email from a retailer, like let's say HobbyLink Japan, it automatically will show up in the app even before you get a confirmation. There's also the Shopify end of things, the Shop app, where if you place an order for something, it will automatically keep updates for everything, and you can even put tracking numbers in there to help you out and keep track of some things, which I think is too big thumbs up. But of course, alongside that, there's going to be a UPS website as well, where you can get updates on when packages get sent to you, like I have that. It really helps out for Target. Another service is going to be the USPS Delivery Manager, which that's going to be for general mail. That helps as well because not only can you see when mail is incoming to you, that can help with seeing when packages are coming because you can even see a couple days in advance. And this is something you can do with DHL and FedEx as well. UPS, you can, but you have to go in through the website. You can actually set it so you can have delivery dates later. So let's say it's set to arrive Monday. You're not going to be home on Monday. You can set it up to arrive on Wednesday instead. And with FedEx, you can reroute it to Walgreens, which is really cool. Now, you have all of these tracking numbers. You may be even importing stuff from China. That's a lot of stuff to keep track of. One service that I really like is called Global Package Tracking. It's like a hound dog, really, okay? So what you do is you take a tracking number. Let's say you're getting something from AliExpress. It's going to be shipped through Sino, Kino, whatever, C-A-I-N-O. You're going to get one long tracking number. Who knows what characters are going to be in there. It will start in China, and then it may trail off. And then it may show up at your door. So at some point, you may lose track of what's going on. With the Global Package Tracking website, it scours all of the known tracking websites, even the ones you may not know of, and it will try to pull associated tracking numbers to that one package. So even if you weren't sent a tracking number by a seller, again, you buy something from AliExpress, You may not know it actually has a USPS tracking number. It will pull it out and give it to you. And the best part about it is, even if you close out of the page, as long as you have your cookies and so forth enabled, you can actually name each tracking number, what package it's going to be, and you can come back and you can tap on your screen the different numbers that you have saved in, so you can just keep coming back to it and back to it and back to it, and you can keep tracking those packages. So the first thing that's important is going to be tracking your packages. The next thing that's going to be really important, the second part that I want to talk about, is going to be payment. Because of course, you have to pay for your wonderful collection. Because of course, unless you pay for it other ways, you need money. Or in this case, Japanese yen. Check exchange rates. Google it. Literally, put into Google. I'm American, I speak English. 1 USD to JPY. It will show you the current exchange rate. So you don't have to worry at all about how something is going to increase in value, decrease in value, increase in cost, decrease in cost when you're looking to import something. All you have to do is just go ahead and throw a certain amount. You can even throw in like 7,000 JPY to USD. It will show you what the cost is. It is a non-issue. So you know that. Now, how are you going to pay for things? Well, there are a few different methods to pay, but let's go ahead and set the ground rules. Okay, let's go work from the bottom all the way to the top. You're an adult, assumingly. You have a credit card, right? Most websites will actually reject debit cards if you're looking to import. So if you have a credit card, look through your terms and conditions. There may be a chance that you don't have any foreign transaction fees. I have the Amazon Visa card. That has no foreign transaction fees. So whenever I import anything, I pay in yen, no additional cost to me. Also, you may have little to practically no fee, like maybe 0.5% at the current exchange rate. So if something's like 1,000 yen, they may only charge you 50 yen. That is not bad at all. Now, that being said, regardless of the site, they may accept PayPal, but they may also, you may need to let your credit card company know. So even though they may accept the foreign transaction fees, they may accept, again, check your terms and conditions if you're just starting. Why? They may flag purchases as suspicious. And once you get started in collecting, if they see that there's a purchase that's being made in Japan and you've only been in the United States, they might think something is up and they may block your payment. And that can cause issues down the line and you might get banned from websites. Take it from yours truly, right here. It's happened before, but it's not a big deal. Chances are it can be reversed, no big issues. Now, like I said though, PayPal usually is accepted at all of the major websites where you can buy action figures. And PayPal pretty much has an auto conversion. So if the website you are buying something from automatically and only accepts yen, PayPal will take care of it. However, keep in mind, they do have a lower than what the current exchange rate is. So for an example, right now, let's say it's $1 to 150 yen. PayPal may have it for 143 yen instead. However, if you go into your PayPal account, and I think it's up in the wallet setting, you can adjust it for every one of your payment methods to automatically default to the currency that you are being charged in. So like for my Amazon Visa, every time, whatever the currency is, I'm getting charged on that Amazon card for yen. No questions asked. That's what is happening. Also, you may be able to, at checkout, switch it, right? So instead of getting charged 1,000 yen, you may be able to flip it as well and get charged in USD. But that is going to come up in a second here as well, because when it comes to some websites, you may see that the website is charging you in USD. So great, you go to, let's just say, HobbyLink Japan. You may see, oh, they're charging $68.73 for an item. You think, great, they're only charging in USD. Well, if you check down at the bottom, there is a drop down where it will show you that you can switch the prices. Other websites have this as well. At one point, there was an old website that, what did they do? I'll leave that up to decision, but they're no longer in business. You could change the currency as well. Nippon Yasan, what you were able to do is you could once again change the currency from USD to yen. Now, that encompasses everything, and there are foreign transaction fees which are built into that. There is the PayPal conversion and exchange rate, and etc., etc., etc. So, if there is going to be a Japanese import site that charges you in USD, they don't always have the best prices in USD, because not only all of that, but they operate on older exchange rates instead of the current one most of the time. So, if you want to get the best price, look on the website, flip it over to yen, you'll be good to go. Now, the third important point, some fears and time. You may be scared, right? So obviously, when it comes to the US, you're always scared, right? Because how are you going to get things shipped out to you? Are you really, really scared about how quick things are going to get to you? Well, don't worry, folks, okay? Because when it comes to things like how fast things get shipped out and how long something may get to you, it's not going to be like something is shipped by boat. Though some websites do have that available. Now, for the big ways that things get shipped out, we're going to go ahead and talk about that. Thanks to COVID-19, I say that sarcastically, a lot of the slower shipping methods were taken away from those in Japan. Slowly, they're being reinstated to some territories, but not all. So for the US, you are mostly going to have the EMS method, which is going to basically be international priority. And with that, there is an automatic 10,000 yen insurance that is on there, though you can ask for more if you contact the seller. It must be signed for, and if it's not signed for, you get what's called the pink slip of doom. Basically, it's just a "we missed you" slip, and you got to go to the post office and pick it up. But if you go to the USPS tracking page for that item, so you just type in literally in Google USPS tracking, you punch in the tracking number, and you're good to go, you can actually reschedule your delivery. So if you missed it, not a big deal. But you must be there at the rescheduled delivery or go to pick it up. Within 6 days, they give you a different time frame, or mark my words, it will go back to Japan. I've had that happen, even if it's sitting at the local post office. For DHL, FedEx, UPS, there are priority options, and they even have economy options. Spoiler alert, I've paid top dollar for the priority stuff. I've paid bottom dollar for the economy stuff. You can add insurance to both. Not a big deal. FedEx and DHL, very fast. Usually, FedEx is going to be the cheaper option in my experience. And when it comes to both FedEx and DHL, for the more affordable option, instead of the super fast international priority, I have literally had DHL packages show up in less than 12 hours in my state. Not delivered, but show up in my state. The only caveat to that is, whether it's going to be the economy or the priority, I have had to have packages, which I did not select the signature option for, need to be signed. So if you do have the delivery manager apps or the DHL tracking apps, just check to make sure that if it requests a signature, you select the option for signature release. You can do that on DHL. It may tell you it needs a signature, even if it does not. So just something to keep in mind. And again, if you have those dates, then you're not there. For FedEx, DHL, even UPS, if you log onto the website and you change it, you can change those delivery dates. So in sum, are you afraid of the transport time from Japan to the US? That is pretty reasonable if you've never done this before. However, you can get packages sent to you in anywhere from 2 days to 10 days. So don't worry about something maybe getting lost in transit, because there is insurance that is available. Some of it just comes standard with the price, and some of it just shows up in absolute pristine condition. There are options for freight, which are not that cheaper from the economy priority options, and it can take anywhere up to 4 months for you to get your package. Don't do it. Don't do it. Here's going to be the fourth tip that I have for you, and something to keep in mind. It's going to be the idea of availability, because a lot of times folks think that import, it's very exotic, okay. So back in my day, whippersnappers, there used to be what was basically known as the big three. That would be AmiAmi, HLJ, and Hobby Search. But since then, there have been significantly more that have sprouted up. Some of these I don't particularly care for, but others do, so I'll make mention of them. There may be Nin Game, Hobby Genki, we may have Global Freaks, there may be even more out there. All you got to do is just search or ask a friend. There may be used sites or pre-owned sites, secondhand sites, and there may be sites that are dedicated to help you get collectibles or even specialize on getting action figures and so forth. Some examples of this are going to be Mandarake and Zen Market. So if you are looking to get some of these items, don't worry, you don't have to necessarily get things new. You can check the secondhand market, because even then you can find a lot of pre-owned stuff, which is 100% mint and sealed box. And sometimes, even though the wording is a little bit vague for a used listing, it may actually be super over exaggerated in terms of the condition. Like, for an example, I had something that was listed as box damage. It was a little tiny tear up at the top of the flap, and it wasn't even opened yet. I've had Gashapon figures where only the capsule itself was cracked open, they tossed that out, but the inner plastic bag was still sealed, and they shipped that to me. So, if you're afraid about waiting up until 3 a.m. to get your orders in for the Bandai Monday and you missed out, don't worry. Don't worry, you don't have to resort to the US sites and maybe pay a little bit more and wait later. Don't worry. There are plenty of other options that are out there aside from the big well-known sites. Now, the last one, this is something that a lot of folks kind of struggle with, but it is very simple. The fifth and final tip that I'll have for you, which is pretty easy, is following official info and news outlets. What does that mean? The companies themselves. Way back in the day when I started, it was very hard to find good sources of information. Reason being is you had to know Japanese in order to get any of the info, because this person tried to translate and that person tried to translate. But today, companies realize that there is an international demand for their products, so they make things easier for folks to find. So if you are looking for information, follow official outlets. So these are just examples of some of the big ones. Of course, check social media for maybe some other ones you might prefer. So we do have Tamashii Nations, Bandai. If you're looking for their official site, it's going to be SH Figuarts, SH Monster Arts, Robot Spirits, so forth. Their official site is going to be tamashiweb.com. Instagram at Instamashi. US distribution is at Bandai Collect. Twitter is at T_features at Bandai Collect. Facebook is going to be Tamashii Nations /Bandai Spirits Collectors. You'll find it. And then for the US, we have Tamashii Nations USA. And then Bandai Namco Toys and Collectibles America. Now, you may be wondering, what about our friends right there in the middle at Good Smile Company? Well, you can actually find two different websites. You have goodsmile.com/JA or goodsmileus.com. For Twitter, at GSC_Goodsmile or at Goodsmile_US. Instagram at Goodsmile Company Official, and Facebook GSC English and Japanese. Kyoto Revoltech, kyoto.co.jp. Twitter at Kyoto_PR. The same for Instagram, and for Facebook, just put in Kyoto. But the URL is Kyoto1964. Now you may be saying, Steven, it's in Japanese, I can't read a lick. Well, first, one, if you're on a web page, it should pop up and tell you that you can translate it to English. Do that. Two, top right-hand corner of pretty much any web browser, you can click on it. It should give you the option to translate it to English. Three, most websites, including the ones that I gave you, have the option to go to an English language page. 4, screenshot it. Google Lens. You have the option to translate for you. Last point on there, beware of fan sites, because fan sites may not give you accurate information even for some of your favorite lines, even if they claim to know people in the industry. So that's about it. My runtime here that I'm seeing is about 20 minutes, way long enough. I hope this gives you some information that you need to build your foundation for import collecting and helps you to begin your hobby if you are just starting out now, or maybe you learned a thing or two and I helped you out. Regardless, I hope you had some fun and I hope you continue to build your collection up because this is a fun hobby and I think if you treat it right, it will in turn treat you right as well. Thank you so much for watching. Be sure to click subscribe, and if you happen to have any more tips, drop them in the comments down below because we all like to talk about our own hobby because it's fun. Thanks again for watching and I'll catch you in the next video.